How's it going, everyone? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my character build in Fallout 76. I'll be showing you my special attributes and where I focused all of my points because I am beyond level 50 now. I believe I'm at level 68 at the moment, and also all of my perk cards. I'll show you the ones that I've chosen and also the other ones that I think are useful, at least for my build. Specifically mentioning that my build is going to be a melee, rifleman, and carry weight build, so that might be different to some of yours. And also bear in mind that respecking is happening soon, so there are some changes that I want to make around the edges, and I'll talk about that when we get into the game. Speaking of which, let's do that right now. Alrighty, so we are at my camp in Fallout 76. Here is my character with this lovely XO1 power armor with a tricentennial paint. I really love the XO1. I just built it, so I'm showing it off a little bit. But as I mentioned, we are at my camp right now. I think it looks lovely. We got a farm here. I put a lot of effort into this. My crops have started to grow, which is nice, and we've got my home here. Thanks to Nova for building the red brick walls because I don't have the plans for them yet. But we are at my workshop right now, and I'll be showing you all of my special attributes right here. So the reason why I'm in this menu screen and not the other one is because it actually tells you what the special attributes are for in this screen, so I think it's really useful. So let's start with strength. I'm assuming that a lot of you that have played Fallout 76 extensively, you know how important strength is because of the carry weight bonus it gives you, and that's why I've put strength at 13. But because of that, and because strength also affects the damage of your melee attacks, I found that my character is naturally great at melee, which is why I'm going for a melee build as well. And why as well, I've used a lot of the fire axe and a lot of other two-handed melee weapons in the game. The fire axe is so much fun. I love it. It has great durability and condition, and also great damage. So having strength at 13 helps with both of those things, and I really do like that. Moving to perception. Perception does help in terms of your ability to detect stealthy movement and also your weapon accuracy in VATS. But the reason why it's at 9 for me is, again, I want to go for a rifleman build, and a lot of the perk cards that increase your rifle's damage are in perception. So that's why that's at 9. Moving to endurance. Endurance is really beneficial for me, at least in terms of the HP benefit it gives you and the AP drain from sprinting benefit that it gives you, especially if you're running around a lot like I do, looting, etc. And also your resistance to disease. In this game, you know, disease is something that you need to constantly be aware of, and I found that increasing my endurance to a relatively good level at 7, I found myself not getting as diseased as often, you know, compared to if my endurance was at 4 or even lower. So that's why endurance is at 7, but also there are some useful perk cards in endurance as well. Charisma is at 4, and to be honest, this is because I'm not necessarily going for a build that's designed to help other players in the game, so I'm a little bit selfish, but I still wanted that at 4 so I could at least share a perk card and get some of the perk cards that are in there, because there's a couple there that are useful, and I found that I needed at least 4 to be able to equip those perk cards, so that's why that's at 4. Intelligence is at 13, another one that I focused on a lot. Yes, it helps you with your ability to hack terminals and the condition of items that you craft and the return you get from scrapping, which is great. You'll be scrapping a lot in this game, at least I do anyways. You're looting a lot, picking up a lot of items and scrapping those as you go to conserve your carry weight, right? But intelligence has a lot of great perk cards. Yes, a lot of them are swap out, swap in. You don't need to have them equipped at all times. But even so, at 13, I still find perk cards that I want to have equipped at all times, which is why I don't want to reduce my intelligence below 13. So that's why that's at that. Agility helps you with the number of action points you have in VATS and also your ability to sneak. This is one of those special attributes that I think I want to increase, so I have a little bit more action points in VATS to help me with heavy attacks with melee, to help me with VATS and also sprinting as well. But we'll talk about that once we get to the perk cards, because there might be some perk cards I also want to increase or equip using agility. And then we've got luck. Luck is something that might decrease for me, but the reason why I initially went to 6 with it is because it affects the condition and durability of items that you loot. Again, I tend to, in my playthrough, loot more weapons and use those weapons rather than craft them necessarily. So I wanted to ensure that the durability of those weapons were top notch and at least at a good level. So that's why luck is at 6. But again, luck has some great perk cards that I'll be using in the game, and I want to show you as well. So with that out of the way, let's get to my character perk card screen, if you will. So we're going to start with showing off all my strength perk cards. We've got, again, because I'm focusing on a melee build, we have all of the Slugger Perk cards, which actually increase the damage of your two-handed melee weapons. each on their own by 10% each. So I have Expert Slugger, Master Slugger, and also the regular Slugger. You might be asking, why don't I just go one of those cards and rank it up to 3 stars? That's because each of these perk cards on their own give you a plus 10% damage benefit or boost to your two-handed melee weapons. But if I was to actually rank them up individually, beyond 10%, it only goes up to 15% and then 20% at rank 3. So overall, it's actually more beneficial for you to equip these cards individually if you're not ranking them up. So I get actually a plus 30% damage boost with all the cards equipped individually, rather than just plus 20% if I only had one of them and ranked them to rank 3. So that's why that is at that. But then I also have Pack Rat. It reduces the weight of junk items by 75%. That, you know, it goes without saying, you'll be picking up a lot of junk in this game, which is why I have that perk card equipped. Then Strong Back, gain 40 plus pounds to carry weight. No brainer there as well. You know, you'll be looting a lot in this game, so that's why I have that there. And then Traveling Pharmacy, the weight of all chems are reduced by 80%, including stim packs. And I try to anyways, carry a lot of stim packs in the game. So that's why that is there. Now, bear in mind, I also have a list of other perk cards that I want to equip or want to actually obtain in the future. And they are to help me with melee. So Martial Artist and Incisor, those perk cards help you roughly with the your ability to ignore armor with your melee weapons, and also the weight of your melee weapons, your two-handed ones anyways, and the speed at which you swing your two-handed melee weapons. And those might be ones that I equip, you know, if I'm in a battle and I needed to deal more damage or avoid more armor or swing faster. I might actually take out Pack Rat, because I might not need that for one run through, and when I'm just killing a bunch of enemies, and I might swap in those perk cards. So those are ones that I want to get, but for the time being, I have these ones and I'm pretty happy with them. So Perception, I have Expert Rifleman, Master Rifleman, and Rifleman. 2 of those are maxed out completely, and I have Master Rifleman. So overall, I have a plus 50% damage boost with these perk cards with my rifles. My non-automatic rifle specifically. So I use the Brotherhood Recon rifle a lot, which is great. But any, you know, non-automatic rifles, this is going to get a plus 50% damage boost, which is not insignificant. It's pretty good. So that's why I have that there. For my playthrough anyways, again, I like using rifles. I tend to find a lot of ammo for those rifles. So that's why I have those cards. But also as well, Tank Killer. Your rifles ignore 24% of armor and have a 6% chance to stagger. This is one that I really do like, because again, it ignores armor. A lot of enemies that I encounter in the game tend to have armor on, so I like having this Tank Killer card. But again, there's a number of perk cards in Perception that are swap out, swap in. So for instance, Expert Picklock. If there's a picklock that you need to actually unpick, you need to be able to equip those perk cards. So I have Expert Picklock, getting tongue twisted there, and the regular Picklock. So if there's one that has rank 2 or rank 3 or whatever it is, I equip as many of those Picklock cards as I can, and then I'll be able to unlock those, or unpick those containers or whatever it might be, a safe for instance. But then Green Thumb, this is great to swap in when you're harvesting flora. You get twice as much a yield, but you don't necessarily need it all the time, which is why I just have it there, and not necessarily equipped. And then there's a few of these other ones that in my build anyways, I find myself not using. Those are the main ones. If I look at my list here, it's just Green Thumb and the Picklock ones that I want to focus on. So that's all I have in Perception. Now Endurance, right? Life Giver, you get that at level 50, I believe, and I max that out completely, so I get plus 45 to my maximum health. And when that's paired with one of the perk cards, and I'll show you, that increases how much health your stim packs actually give to your character, it's super beneficial, because pretty much one stim pack can pretty much max out your health once you use it. And when you have Life Giver, that's a lot of health. And when you're fighting a lot of high level enemies, it does come in handy. So that's why I have that there. But a few of the other ones, I might decrease endurance slightly, because when I'm in power armor, I find myself not necessarily needing adamantium skeleton a lot. So it does help reduce your limb damage, but I found that it's more beneficial when you're not in power armor. So I might actually reduce endurance and get rid of that. But then Slow Metabolizer, food satisfies hunger by an additional 50%. This is one that arguably is a swap out, swap in. You only need it when you're eating, but I find myself eating a lot and I don't necessarily want to swap out all the time. So I just have that there. But again, if I want to focus on strength more in the future, or intelligence or agility, like I think I mentioned before, I will probably get rid of Slow Metabolizer because, again, it arguably is a swap out, swap in card. But there's a few other ones here as well, like Drome Dairy, drinks quench thirst by an additional 50%. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. You bring that in once you're drinking. Lead Belly, you take 30% less radiation from eating or drinking. I might bring that in if I'm eating anything. Thirst Quencher, drinking any liquid has a 30% chance to reduced chance, to cause disease. I use a lot of purified waters, so I don't know how beneficial those are, but if you tend to boil a lot of water, then that might be a beneficial perk card for your character. Charisma, I find that I don't have, I'm not using all my points. Why am I not doing that? Let's go Lone Wanderer for now. So this is an interesting one, right? I said that Charisma is only at 4, but there were some perk cards that I really liked in there. Specifically, Field Surgeon, I have that equipped at all times. It helps you with using your stim packs and rat away much more quickly. So if you're in the heat of battle and your HP has gone down a lot, and your stim packs work like that, it's great news. If you're in a nuke zone, right, and your rataways work really quickly, that is great news as well. So that's why I have Field Surgeon there at all times. But then with the second slot that I have, it depends. If I'm playing on my own, I'll use Lone Wanderer. But if I'm playing with friends, I might as well use Inspirational and get more XP when I do kills and quests and all that kind of stuff. So I'll just swap out and swap in if I'm on a team, right? But then Travel Agent, as soon as I want to fast travel, I'll equip Travel Agent, and that gives me 30% fewer caps when fast traveling. Like, that's a no-brainer. It's something that I will always do when I'm fast traveling. I think it's really beneficial. But with a few of these other ones here, I don't necessarily use, and I'll look at my list there. Hard Bargain is one that I do want to focus on, though. It helps with your buying and selling prices at vendors, so I do want to actually get that perk card. I don't currently have it now, but that's one that I want to focus on. And again, it's a swap out, swap in, so you don't need to have it equipped at all times. Now let's go to Intelligence. Now I'll be honest, Intelligence does have a lot of perk cards that you don't need equipped at all times. They tend to be the ones like Hacker, for instance, that you equip when you need a Hacker Terminal, or the Fix a Good one, for instance, where you can repair your power armor to more of its normal maximum condition, right? But you only need that when you're repairing your power armor. You don't need it equipped at all times. And there's a few like this in Intelligence. Science, you can now craft energy guns. You only need that when you need to craft energy guns. Science Master, the same thing, right? For rank 3 energy gun mods. You need that when you're crafting those mods. Scrapper, when you're scrapping your weapons and armor, you get more components. You only really need that when you're scrapping your weapons and armor. So a lot of those perk cards there's even more of them. Weapon Artisan is another one that repairs your weapon to more of its maximum condition. What I find myself, especially at being at level 68, and I've gotten most of the perk cards that I want equipped at all times, I find myself going straight to Intelligence and finding a lot of these perk cards that I don't have, and trying to rank them out as much as possible. So for instance, repairing power armor to more of its maximum condition, right? I want to rank that out as much as possible. So we're going to be getting that as soon as we can, and a few of the other ones as well. But let's look at the perk cards in Intelligence that I have equipped at all times. Batteries included, right? This is so important because I have a lot of fusion cores. I'm running around in power armor absolutely all the time. So I have that ranked at max. It makes my fusion cores and energy weapon ammo weigh by 90% less. It is so significant. I have 70 fusion cores on my person right now. Other people that I've seen have like 115, right? That perk card helps with fusion cores. That's why I have it equipped for my character. I'm out of breath. First Aid, this is the one that I was talking about. It makes your stim packs restore 45% more of lost health, at least when it's maxed out to 3. That is just a no-brainer for me. It means that I don't have to use as many stim packs. I found that stim packs aren't that abundant in Fallout 76, so I have to use them carefully, so that's why I have that perk card. Gunsmith, my guns break slower, 40% slower because I only have that at tier 4. I might increase Intelligence to 14 and bump that up by 1, but it also means that I can craft tier 4 guns. But again, it's more for the benefit of your guns breaking slower. There's also another equivalent to that with melee weapons. It's called... let's see if I can find it. I don't believe I have it. There's another equivalent and the name escapes me, right? But it's the same effect. It makes your melee weapons break slower. But what I've found is that my fire axe doesn't really degrade that fast. Its durability is pretty good. But I found my weapons, my guns are degrading a little bit faster. So I have Gunsmith equipped. But if you're going for a solely melee build, you want to focus on that as much as possible, that equivalent of Gunsmith for melee weapons might be one you want to focus on. But agility, right? Agility, I have Action Boy at rank 2, where my action points are regenerating 30% faster. That's a no-brainer. I like to use VATs here and there. I sprint a lot. And especially when I'm using melee, I like to use my heavy attacks, which actually drain your AP. So having that regenerate faster means I can use more heavy attacks with my melee, and that's so beneficial in battle, especially when there's really powerful enemies that are coming up close. And then through hiker, it helps with the weight of your food and drinks. Specifically at rank 2, it's helping me reduce it by 60%. But let's look at one of the other perk cards in agility that I do like, and I might want to increase agility to 6 just for this perk card, Adrenaline, right? For every kill, you get a certain percentage damage boost for 30 seconds, and then there's a max boost there. So currently, I have that at 2 rank, so it gives me 7% a boost of damage with every kill, with a max 42%. So it really does help when you're killing a lot of enemies, and you're constantly getting those increases in damage with every kill, with, for me anyways, a max of 42% damage. It's one that I might use in the heat of battle more. Maybe I take out through hiker and equip that, but again, I'm probably going to increase agility to 6 when respecking is a thing. And then luck. Luck is one of those things that I might reduce, right? I might reduce it to 4 and have Bloody Mess at 2 and Luck of the Draw at 2. But right now, I do like Bloody Mess and I do like Luck of the Draw, so it's going to be a tough decision. But Bloody Mess, you know what that is. It increases your damage. When it's ranked out to the max, it's 15% bonus damage. And it also means your enemies may explode, I can't talk, into gory red paste. It looks great, so I have that there. Then Luck of the Draw. This is one of my favorite perk cards in the game, where the chance that your weapon will actually repair itself when you're hitting an enemy. So randomly, out of nowhere, if you're using a melee weapon or whatever gun it is, whatever weapon, and you're hitting an enemy, there's a chance that it will actually repair your gun or your melee weapon a little bit. And when you rank it out max like I have, it greatly repairs your weapon or your melee weapon, which is why I've ranked it out to the max. It's great, especially when you're using automatic rifles. You'll see that ticker pop up relatively quickly, which is why I have that there, and it means you don't have to repair your weapons as often. But then, like, I haven't found for my character anyways any real other useful perk cards. Woodchucker is one that, you know, if you're harvesting a lot of wood, you want to equip that in. But pretty much I have these 2 perk cards. If I want to reduce it, I might do that. Now, would you look at that? We've been talking for so long, it's actually nighttime in my game. So I'll be taking my character back to my lovely bedroom to get some well-earned sleep. I can't believe I was talking for so long. Alrighty, Wastelanders, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below if you did. And also as well, let me know what your character builds are in Fallout 76. I would love to know what kind of build you're going for, what kind of perk cards you have, and what kind of special attributes you have. Let me know in the comments. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.